bringing his crew of Pat McGroin, Pat Powers, and Rod Steele. They were supposed to face Devin Nash and the Shane brothers. Apparently, rumor has it Shane's down in Mexico City. I don't know where they were. They couldn't be here for this match. So Ron Neimi brought in his backup, Frankie Capone and Python, and not a bad couple of guys as your backups, Jaguar.
Hey, they're nothing but the best. Nothing but the best if the Shanes aren't here. That's what 911 Incorporated is all about. That's what we believe, and we have nothing but the best. Check this out here, Rod Steele and Frankie hooking it up here.
I tell you what, Rod Steele and Frankie hooking it up. You have some history with both these guys. In fact, way back, you cost Frankie Capone the IPW light heavyweight title, or rather, you helped him gain that IPW light heavyweight title, I should say. And you've traded titles back and forth with Rod Steele.
Me and Rod Steele, there's no love lost between us. I've had to go around with him many times, and you see him throwing out Frankie Capone in the ropes here. What a reverse. Check this out, talking smack all the time. He's felt the wrath of the Jaguar.
Yes, many people here in IPW have felt the wrath of the Jaguar. Unfortunately for you, you have lost your Florida Unified Cruiserweight title just recently to Justice. You raised his hand after the match. Great display of sportsmanship. But here you see right now, no sportsmanship going on in this match. This is IPW versus what Mr. Peskin calls the real IPW with his henchmen. The fans, as you can see, they're not exactly sure what to do. They're not used to cheering for guys like Ron Neimi, Frankie Capone, and Python, but they certainly don't want to cheer for Mr. Peskin's crew. The fans are a little dumbfounded. But you should have heard the pop Ron Neimi had when he came out. I couldn't believe it.
Ron Neimi, he's one of the most greatest entertainers in all the land of called IPW. As you can see, he's recruited nothing but the strongest, biggest men here. Look at Python just cranking away at that head. He's gonna just rip his head off. I'm telling you.
I tell you, people forget how big of a guy Pat Powers is. Everyone talks about how big Python is, but when you look at him right now, these guys look to be about the same size. But that didn't stop Python from dumping Pat Powers right in his head. There you see a shoulder block right to Pat McGroin. We hadn't seen Pat McGroin here recently, but he's definitely a big part of Mr. Peskin's stable.
Oh, this Mr. Peskin and his band of merry men and band of Pats, I'm telling you, they're going to feel the wrath of 911 Incorporated. And if maybe I could put a little hint of things to come, but they're going to feel the wrath of the Jaguar, too.
Yes, they are. Jet Jaguar makes no mistake about the fact that he has no love lost for Mr. Peskin, no love lost for Rod Steele. And let's face it, who has any love lost for the Pats?
None of us here. Look at Devin Nash here. What a colossal athlete, just tearing his head off like
that was a big clothesline there. And you see Gentleman Jim Bragg. People watching our show the last few weeks might think he's the only referee we have left, but don't fret, fans. Later in the show, nice DDT right in his head. 1, 2. No, he can't quite get the 3 count. As I was saying, later on, coming up in this match, guest commentary week here in IPW Weekly Recap. Oh, wait, what do we got? We got a tag there? Oh, Frankie Capone tags in. Now that Devin Nash has things under control, Frankie Capone wants to get in there. There was a little bit of heat going on between Devin Nash and his partners during this match. I'm not sure if it'll flow over into the future or not, but Devin told me backstage he wasn't the happiest of fellows.
Devin's not the happiest of fellows, but neither is Frankie Capone right now, as he's getting beaten from. And it looks like both are Pats now. Frankie Capone just recently thrown out of an Italian restaurant at an all-you-can-eat lasagna fest. You should have seen it. I was there with him. I couldn't get over the way he was slinging meatballs around the whole place.
That's almost as bad as throwing chicken wings around a bar in South Florida. But we'll get into that another time, Jet Jaguar. But as I was saying, there you see Frankie Capone tagged himself in when Devin had the match going his way. Things get a little heated, and they tag Devin Nash back in. It's almost like they want to help Ron Neimi, but they don't want to help Devin Nash too much.
Devin Nash cranking away on his arm here. Another one to line himself with 911 Incorporated. One of the biggest, strongest guys in all PW.
We got a lot of big, strong guys in this match, and we have Rod Steele.
Rod Steele. Look at those chicken legs. He's like a ham sandwich with feet. I'm telling you.
I tell you what, Devin Nash was one that brought out the fact of the chicken legs back here a few episodes ago. And he doesn't like it when I tell people this as he punches Devin right in the face. But his new nickname, I heard he got it from his girlfriend, is the missing package, Rod Steele.
Wow, I've got nothing else to say.
Well, that's the first Jet Jaguar to loss for words. I figured you'd at least bust out with a huss or a swine, but I know you're trying to be professional here. Unfortunately, as we said in the opening, Ron Neimi, temporary restraining order, but all that does, nice big clothesline by Rod Steele. I talked about jokingly how he wasn't that strong, but I'm sure Devin Nash would disagree at this point, considering he just had his forearm right across his throat, and there he kicks the legs right out from under him. He may not be the biggest, strongest guy in the match, but obviously a smart competitor, taking the wheel out from Devin Nash, a la the Andersons, old school wrestling. You take out a big guy's leg, he's not going to be nearly as effective.
He's no Gene Anderson, but I know exactly what you're talking about, Aaron.
No, he's no Gene Anderson. Heck, he's not even C.W. Anderson, but he was taking the leg out, working it over very smartly. There you see Pat McGroin, the former television champion. Devin, also a former television champion in his own right. These two have been going at it, especially against Pat McGroin, against Pat Powers as well. Devin's had his problems with them ever since we've been on television here, and how ironic it is that we've got a whole new feud, not for the IPW TV title, and these guys are still going at it.
You got to see these Powers, Pat Powers, Pat McGroin. They're all working for what's his character's name?
Mr. Peskin, who, as you see, is coming out lately, holding in his hands a book that says "The Future of Ron Neimi." And there you see Frankie Capone and Python conveniently turned away, not paying any attention. Devin Nash taking the brunt of this beating by Mr. Peskin's henchman.
He's a tough guy, that Devin. He's taking a beating here. Frankie's trying to get in. It's not happening. He's trying to make the tag.
There he goes to Python. I'm surprised this guy. Look, these guys can't even come in by themselves. But then again, this is IPW. You got mayhem going. It's IPW versus the real IPW of Mr. Peskin. So anything goes, and you got a big six-man melee going on right now.
This is just madness. Everybody's getting thrown around, chopped, punched, thrown out of the ring. It's just, I've seen someone gouge eyes. It's insane.
It's just nefarious. It's chicanery and tomfoolery going on, as Ron Neimi and I always like to say. Now you got a bunch of guys outside the ring. Let me tell you, you talk about the madness. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, Jim Bragg moves out of the way, a la Ned Flanders like. Oh, but there he gets pulled right into the path of Devin Nash by Pat Powers. Smart move by Pat Powers. He knows he's hurting. Devin Nash might be able to take this match, but you can't lose the match. That's true. He looks like he might finish him off, but you can't finish off anybody if there's no referee to count the 3 count.
Since he's had that bowel problem.
Here we come, Ron Neimi coming in with his Halliburton. It doesn't matter if he's a baby face. He's still going to swing that thing. Boom, lays out Devin Nash. That took a long time to develop. Did he hit Devin Nash on purpose or not? Oh, and he's just laid out by Pat Powers. I haven't seen Ron Neimi hit that hard since Rick Thames hit him with a medicine cabinet back in the sandbox that used to be considered Florida wrestling before IPW was in town.
Now here these guys are. Look at this.
ODD. Jeff Bradley with Mr. Peskin, and it looks to me like they're going to try to put Devin Nash right through that table.
These guys here are some of the biggest mercenaries in all of IPW. Look at them just trying to
look at that. The table doesn't even break.
My goodness.
Pat
These
Powers
guys are just trying to hurt people.
There we go. Oh, the Canadian splash of girth right there on Devin Nash, and he's crumpled up in a little ball. He looks very, very hurt, and this is not a good sign for Devin Nash, or what I consider the real IPW run by Ron Neimi.
Ron Neimi, head of IPW here, getting his brains kicked in by ODD.
And that cannot feel good. I tell you, Ron Neimi's beaten me up for no reason on several occasions, so I know exactly how he feels getting the boots laid to him out there, Jet Jaguar.
And as you can see, Rod Steele coming in, laying it in. When Neimi's down, that's when they're on him, beating him when he's down. These guys don't have the guts to do it face up, one-on-one. They got to bring tables. Jeff Bradley, look at the size of that man, just trying to kill Devin Nash.
I tell you, Jeff Bradley's always been one of the bigger, more hardcore guys here in IPW, but ever since he went to Puerto Rico, he has just gotten that much bigger. He is massive now. If you thought he was hard to contain before, he's damn near impossible now.
All that time down there, it just went to his head, and he just gone crazy. He's got more intense, more violent, more insane. He's ODD. He is
it's like
crazy.
The spirit of Bruiser Brody entered him when he was down there in Puerto Rico. And you see, there's no finish to this match, fans. But here comes the troops. Here comes you, Jet Jaguar, with the chair, and boom, lays out Rod Steele. He hasn't had one of those in a long time. There you go, just laying the chairs into him,
that
Jet.
Feels pretty good.
I tell you what, we talked about you being back with 911 Incorporated. I didn't want to spoil how it happened. And there you go. Look at you guys just tearing it up. Jet Jaguar moving about as quick as the Shanes. And if I recall correctly, you did call him a swine.
Look at this. This is a beating. Rod Steele's has coming again for a long time. I'll throw chairs on him. Look, I'm just taking out the trash. I'm back with 911 Incorporated. My man, not Ron Neimi.
And here comes Dave Kokotis from Coco Sports getting into the action, trying to help Devin Nash out of the ring. I don't know what happened to the referees, but I guess Richie Rich wrestled that night. Jim Bragg is knocked out. I don't know, fans.
As I'm trying to help Devin Nash up here, you can see Dave from Coco Sports. He's trying to get an interview. I'm trying to get out of here as I'm helping Devin.
Yeah, he always wants those one-on-one interviews for Coco Sports. And there you see Shannon Rose doing nothing as always. Fans, we'll be back.